Hello, and welcome to another Coffee with Zeo. This is a more free-form, unscripted, podcasty sort of thing that we like to do on the channel each month. This is where we discuss the current state of PSO2 NGS, as well as let you know what else I've been up to as of late. Not going to be much in the way of supporting visuals here, so go ahead and put the sucker on in the background while you go do daily chores or whatever. We're going to hit the ground running and talk about what everyone's been buzzing about these past couple days, Dark Falz. Oh my goodness, where do I even start? I'll start by saying this. I want more fights like this. This is hands down the best encounter in PSO2 NGS right now, even though, let's be real, there hasn't been much competition. Best in all of PSO2? Hell nah. It's up there though. And Base had some pretty epic encounters there. The fight itself is an absolute blast. From the set piece to the mechanics to the music. Presentation wise, they knocked it out of the park here. I do have one critique though. Now that I've had a couple days to ruminate on this, there was just little build up here. Especially compared to other Dark Falz fights in base PSO2, there was always this degree of build up there. Like even with Elder, you had Getamald stealing the Clarissa and going to the Nefarious Ruins to wake up Dark Falz, and he ends up becoming Elder. Then you had Luther turning into one after everything in episode 2. And then you had the Profound Darkness, both in episode 3 and in episode 6. Here, it's like, oh, we come out of our pods, we meet these two girls, then we fight these biomechanical freaks. The girls take us back to their village, and we meet one of the girls' dad, who's also the leader. Then that night, the village gets nuked by this thing called Dark Falz. Then it was like, okay, our business here in Alio is done. They're building this huge cannon. Then we gotta go to Ratem to get some resources to help build the thing to shoot the Dark Falz. Now, don't get me wrong, blowing up a village and killing everyone is definitely a horrible thing, and certainly in line with the embodiment of evil. But having it resurface this soon is a tad bit jarring. We still have no clue as to why the Meteorn or the dolls are even on Alpha in the first place, or what their relationship is with Dark Falz. And then you still have that floating tower, which everyone seems to be calling Aincrad for lack of a better name. Everyone, myself included, thought it would have some connection with Dark Falz, but we were all wrong about that. The emotional buildup and the sense of urgency wasn't here. This makes me wonder though, was this their idea from the get-go, or was this done in response to corporate pressure brought on by the response to the game by the player base? If it's the former, then maybe this is part of that build-up, like we beat it back for now, and then we have to do it again in the other two regions before we finally do get it once and for all. Another thing is it doesn't come up all that often. It definitely makes you appreciate the emergency quest schedule that base PSO2 had. That being said though, it does have me excited for future encounters. It also drops a couple of weapon camos that are throwbacks to episode 1 of base PSO2. And then you have the Sanquon weapons, which drop like candy, but require a crapload of resources to fully upgrade. You'll need a whopping 1200 photon skills to unlock their full potential at level 4. And that's going to take a while. Alternatively, you can buy an item that'll get you to level 3 potential automatically, but those are pretty expensive. They weren't kidding when they said these things were going to be resource intensive. It's something to work towards rather than just praying to RNGesus for every little thing. There is still that element of luck with Fixa augments though. Let's see, I've been playing Lost Ark as well, but not as much though since it lined up with the NGS updates. I like what they did here, but I still don't see it becoming a mainstay. Maybe that will change once I get a couple characters to 50, we'll see. So if you've been with the channel for a while, you might remember that I expressed interest in revising some of the older, more popular PSO2 lore videos. The earlier ones were pretty rough in comparison to what comes out on here nowadays. You know, if someone does something consistently over time, they eventually come to further hone that craft. I'd like to think I've come pretty far in terms of editing and presentation since 2020, but you guys are the ultimate judge of that. On top of that, those were made when episodes 4, 5, and 6 hadn't run their course on global yet. Dark Falz sounds like a logical starting point here, especially in light of recent events. I know a lot of people wanted Matoi too. Then I've got the 10th anniversary thing going on, which I've picked back up recently, and that's about 15 pages so far. It looks like the official site is just going to be parroting old interviews from magazine articles over the years. I'd love to hear from some of the ArcSlayer folks and some of their experiences over the years, like how long it took them to figure out the nuts and bolts of the game and what kind of challenges they faced working on it. The fan translation is just as much a part of the game's history as anything else. I'm also trying to find information about Hamazaki and Yoshioka and what they did prior to SEGA. I'd also like to hear from some of the global team. This is perhaps the most Herculean project I have undertaken or ever will undertake on this channel. I began researching and scripting for this thing back in September, and I hope to have it out by the time of the anniversary in July. So now I ask you, what do you guys think of old Dark Falz? You know how much I love chopping it up with you guys in the comment section and on the streams. We discuss these sorts of things all the time in there. NGS lore, conspiracy theories, making fun of the circus that is Western civilization, old school JRPGs. Come on by and hang out sometime. We'd love to have you. As always, thank you so much for watching and for the continued support. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, to thine own self be true. Until next time, farewell.